Welcome back. Like I mentioned earlier, we have Clarence Muhoro with us. He's here to take us through the journey of being a young investor, how he got into young investment, and the fact that he's a team leader for Young Investors Africa, how everything works, the reason as to why you should have an investment as a young person, how to go about everything. Right before I preempt it, good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I am excited to be here with all of you guys, and it's an honor to be here today. And so I'm Clarence Muhoro. I am an entrepreneur, investor, and a Christian. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us this morning. Maybe take us through Young Investors Africa. What is Young Investors Africa?
And Young Investors Africa is a company, a limited liability company that has the purpose of guiding young people to create wealth through investment. And so I am a finance guy. And so what you do is we guide you in your financial journey on how to invest, not only in the financial markets, but how to even invest in circles, money back life insurance. So you have a very comprehensive investment plan, because we believe that the biggest multiplier of money is time. And when you are young, you have time. So now is when to start, and then I will help you grow that and help you succeed in growing your money.
Where did your dream for being, a coach in young investment start? Where did it grow from?
It goes all the way to primary school, where my dad told me about a term called financial analyst. And I think I said I wanted to be that, and I manifested that. And I used to love business, and so did business in primary school, did this in high school. I was very good at math. I was the best in math everywhere I went to. And so being in university, I did finance. Actually, I changed my course twice. And so when I reached finance, I knew that's what I wanted. And I reached a point where I was passionate about finance, where I was running a business. Over the holidays, I used to work in businesses. Basically, I went to work for free in Absa Life Assurance Kenya. That was in the financial markets. And at the same time, I was learning for the first time how to invest in these financial markets. And so what happened was that I had the 360-degree angle of investments, where number one, I am learning in school about investments and finance and what to look for. I am working in a company that is in the financial markets over the holidays. I am running a small business, so I'm looking at it as a business owner and how to manage my finances and what is necessary for me to invest well, for my business to grow. And so that gave me the 360-degree angle of being an investor, being an employee, and also being a business owner. And so by the time I was finishing my small attachment, what I did was that I started a club in university called the SAU Investors Club, where our purpose was to make a difference through increasing financial literacy. And when COVID hit, it was the best time to invest. And so my friend told me, Clarence, I want you to help me learn how to invest fully. And so when that happened, and I made a course for him. I charged him only 500 shillings. He was like, no, Clarence, this is too good. I even paid more. And so that was our journey from 2020, and we built up on that. And now we've done 11,000 students. We've been blessed to do so much and to grow. So that's how it started.
11,000 is such a big number. But I'm curious, how easy do you think it is for young people to get into investments?
It's very easy. It's very easy because nowadays with the kind of platforms we have, global platforms, we have a lot of information that is out there. You only need $10 to access any investment, no matter it being Kenyan shares, it being cryptocurrencies, it being global shares. Just need 1,000 shillings. Even for money market funds, it's as affordable as that, even up to 100 shillings. So the key thing is educating yourself first, like knowing, because we say when you know better, you can do better. So when you know better, you can invest better. So it's very simple. You just need to increase our financial literacy, which is something that is very important and we need to cultivate from high school. And so I believe it's easy. We need to educate ourselves and then go for it. We are young. This is our time. We are young. We need to optimize opportunities and learn new things, learn new skills, one of them being financial wellness and financial literacy.
Speaking of financial literacy, earlier on you've spoken about money markets. I'm sure you know that most young people are normally a little bit skeptical about joining the money market, mostly because we don't have every aspect of information, we need to identify what particular area of money market is good enough for us. So how should you, or how can you, or how can I, a young person, tell that this is the market I can afford, and this is the market I should maybe try, and I will be sure that maybe if I try this, it will give me profits?
That's a very good question. You see, now there usually are different, there usually a myriad of investments that you can take. And so, being someone wise, the first thing you need to do is you need to educate yourself. You need to understand, okay, there are shares I can invest in. I can invest in Forex, which is very high risk. I can invest in bonds, which have no risk at all. I can invest in circles. I can invest in cryptocurrencies. So once you educate yourself, now you tell yourself, okay, what are my goals? Number one, what are my preferences? What investments do I prefer? Number three, what is my risk tolerance? Right? Let's say you don't have a high risk tolerance, as in if you see your money going down 50%, you can collapse. So you just need to know first, okay, I don't want to do Forex. For me personally, I don't do Forex. I know that's not for me. I do shares because I believe they're more safe. I look for high growth companies. So once you do that, once you look at your goals, your preferences, your risk tolerance, your budget and your time frame, are you a long-term or short-term investor? It helps you choose what you want. There are these safe investments that I would say, for example, bonds, government bonds. They are very safe. Right now, you can get an infrastructure bond from the government at 13% with no tax, and that is guaranteed. And it is fully safe. And so if you fear risk, take that. Save in a circle and get high dividends. Buy shares of companies like Safaricom that are very stable, or equity, and those are very safe. Then if you're enterprising and you want to take on more risk, now you can try the cryptocurrencies or Forex, but it all comes from self-awareness and understanding what you're doing. So I believe they are all options, just need to look at it. You can even go the money market fund way, where you give it to a wonderful manager like CIC or any other one, and they'll do the investments for you, and then now they will give you a quarterly return, and that's where these companies like Double Capital, those that deal with that are licensed and regulated.
Based on your experience, would you advise a fast timer to go short term or long term fast?
I would say go short term fast, so you see how things are. But it all goes with goals. For me, my long-term person, the first shares I actually bought, I've never sold, because we believe in the Warren Buffett philosophy. When you buy something, buy it for the lifetime because you believe in it long-term. But I would say with anything, I would even subscribe to the fact that just take 200 shillings, buy 100 shares of any company in Kenya. I mean, with that money and global companies. Then you tell yourself, I'm now an investor, okay? This is actually how simple it is, then now you can build up. So I would say, try short term first to understand what you're into, to see how it goes. You have an account, you're seeing markets are moving, you see how it's gone up, it's gone down, and then now go forward. But all in all, it comes down to who are you, what do you like?
Is someone who's probably wondering, 200 shillings, I can buy shares with 200 shillings. Maybe take us through that process of the money. So if I buy shares with 200 shillings, and then what happens next?
Yes, thank you, Angate. Number one, to buy shares, for example, let's start with Kenya. You need to open an account with an investment bank. An investment bank, not a bank, an investment bank. And so there are some like AIB Capital, there is Standard Investment Bank, KCB Capital. So once you open that account, you can access the markets. Their work is now to help you access the markets. They'll maintain your accounts and make sure your shares are well kept. So in Kenya, you need to, in the law is you need to buy a minimum of 100 shares, for example. So we look at Safaricom is at, let's say, 28 shillings. The price you need to pay for Safaricom shares is 28 shillings times 100. You need to 2,800 shillings. If that is too expensive, you can do Cobank. Cobank is 10 shillings. 10 shillings times 100, 1,000. If that's too expensive, you can do KPLC, which is at 1.2 shillings. So you need 120 bob. Or you can do Uchumi at 0.8, you need 80 shillings. So it means that shares are affordable. And now with apps like Hista app, now you can access even global shares at a price of even $10 and own a fraction of a share. You can own a fraction of a Tesla share or an Apple share or any particular company you like. So it is that simple. You just need to open these accounts through regulated entities. And so go check which investment bank can open an account with. Go open an account, learn more about their fees, and just start. And it's free to open an account. So it's that simple. So with 200 shillings, you can even own almost, I would say almost 200 shares of KUTV or about 200 shares of KMCCI and many others, like Kenyan is at 3-point-something shillings, some are at 1 shilling. So there are many affordable shares. And also there are very many expensive shares. For example, EABL, wale wanapenda kunya Tusker, for example, one share may be going at 150. So it means you need 15,000. That is through local brokers. If you're probably getting other apps where you can own fractional shares, you can probably own a share for 1,000 more. But using the law of 100, you probably require 15,000.
Now, I have a question. You said there are apps. There are apps you can use to identify and regulate your shares.
Yes, the apps you can use to buy and sell your shares. And these apps, you need to use apps that are regulated by the authorities.
Please take us through them. Please take us through some of those apps.
Okay, wonderful. At any point, always use regulated things. When you hear something is regulated, it means that they are under the law and they are being monitored by authorities. So when you're investing, there is a capital markets authority where if I am wronged or if there is front running, if there is anything, they will come and help out. So once more, for you to own shares, there you can open through an investment bank and they have apps for trading. For example, you open one with African Investment Bank and they have the AIB DigiTrader where you can buy and sell shares. You can open, just go search, go to CMA website and just search licensed trading institute, licensed investment banks. You will find about 15. Sterling Capital, there's Equity, there is Dan Blair Investment Bank, Friday Investment Bank. Check one, open an account with them. Kessel Capital, etc., etc. When you want to do foreign shares, you can look at apps like Hista app, Ndov app, where now they give you access to these markets from Kenya and they are licensed by Kenya. I'm only talking about those licensed in Kenya, which is very, very important. There's Scope markets, there's EGM Securities, Ndovu, which is very, very important. So when you have these applications, they facilitate the buying and selling of shares because through that you can be able to buy, see the market itself. Yes.
Now, allow me to ask, if I buy shares as a young person, is a young person allowed to buy shares such as bonds, government bonds? Before you tell us if someone is allowed to buy government bonds, how do government bonds work?
Amazing. I like the question, Wangari. Bonds are simply, I would say, loans. The same way you will take a loan from a bank, let's say for 100,000, and then they tell you we need you to be paying 5,000 every month, and that includes the interest and the repayment. They make an interest probably of 12% per year or 13% on the reducing balance. So a government bond is simply you saying, okay, the government saying, now guys, we need to borrow from you. So it's the same application, but then now they're saying you will borrow from you and we'll pay 14% or 15% or 10%. So it's vice versa. So government bond is basically a government loan. So the government needs money. We used to call Power Preso the king of loans. And so basically he would borrow from the public to facilitate a lot of expenditures, because the government relies on that. And so, for example, the government wants to do a big infrastructure project. For example, they want to build low-cost housing worth 10 billion. So what they do is they come to the public and say, guys, we are doing an infrastructure project and we want to take a loan for that project. And so we are requesting you to lend to us at 12% or 13%. And so you as Wangari, you take your 50,000 now per year. So what they do is they tell you we'll be paying you either every 6 months or every 1 year, 12%. So you know every year, Wangari, or every 6 months, every year you're going to be getting 6,000 from them. So they tell you can do that for 10 years. So if you get 6,000 for 10 years, and after 10 years, now they give you back an extra 6,000 plus your 50,000 initial money. So that's how government bonds work. And yes, you can access as long as you're 18 plus, you can access. If you're below 18, get an adult and you can access it through them. Usually say there's always a way. There are many ways to kill a cat. So it's open to anyone over 18. And in case you're younger, if you have an older brother, if you have your parents, if you have your guardian, if you have your relative, if you have a significant other, that one is not right if you're below 18. But you can access it fully.
Now we've looked at the advantages of the investments and the bonds, but then what are some of the risks that they come with?
Oh, the risks. So for government, that's only for government. They have no risk. They are the safest investment in the world. Governments have to pay, especially in the financial markets. It's all like tenders or anything, but when it comes to financial markets, you have to pay. Why? If you give me a loan, if you give me a loan of 50,000 Mangari and make possible kulipa on time, you never give me a loan again. And I depend on that. So governments all over the world always pay their dues, no matter what, especially in the financial markets. There are these things called corporate bonds. Corporate bonds are the companies are borrowing you. Safaricom is borrowing you, Santam is borrowing you, Nakumat is borrowing you. Those are companies. Companies can easily fail. And so we saw Nakumat had borrowed from the public. And I think investors lost up to 300 million because Nakumat ended up defaulting on these payments. And now they are trying now to sell Nakumat assets so that it can recover some of that to borrowers. So government bonds have no risk at all. Corporate bonds have very little risk, but they have an element of risk because companies can fall easily. Governments cannot fall easily. The only one that we've seen default, I think, in the last 100 years, I think, has been Greece, if I'm not wrong. And so even here, Africa, the government is not fair. There's always a way for government to earn money. They can always tax their people. They can always borrow again from other entities to repay their loans. So at any point, government bonds are very safe.
All right. You have an upcoming event, the annual dinner that you have on the 7th of October at the Swiss Lenana Mount Hotel, yeah? For the KMCCI Youth in Business.
Yes. So I am a member of KMCCI Youth in Business Attic chapter, a very amazing chapter. Basically, we are young people who meet every Friday, you can imagine, at 7 a.m. in the morning, just to grow each other's businesses. And over the last 13 months, we have done shared business. Basically giving you business, you give me business, and we record it. And we're able to reach about over 20 million plus for the Attic chapter. We have ACE chapter that has done over 10 million plus, so that million plus in the last 13 months. And so we're having an annual dinner, and the dinner is for us to celebrate our milestones, what we've done over the last 1 year. We've had delegations going to South Korea, having a team that is planning to go to Mauritius. We've had business people exchange business. We've had a lot of bonding trips. We've had a lot of mentors come in. I've had companies come in like MasterCard. We've had ABSA. We've had the mayor of a city in Germany come in and talk to us. A city called Gestafen. We've had so much growth, and so we're celebrating those milestones. Furthermore, it's an opportunity for us to another investment opportunity is because we are launching our own NFTs. NFTs are non-fungible tokens, basically a sort of digital asset. So we're launching our own NFT, and so we'll be launching that. We'll be sharing our strategic plan for the next year. We have a lot of corporates there. We'll be having exhibition booths. So the goal is for us to continue sharing business because we believe your network is your network. And it is an opportunity for us to help you, for us to connect, for us to celebrate, for us to network, share a lot of insights for business because once again, we believe in the power of the young people and we are really proud of where we have come from and where we are going. So guys, come to the dinner, it will be amazing. Come well dressed. I think through the Attic chapter page on Instagram, you can be able to see the details, how to get a ticket to cover for your dinner, photography, videography. You might have these photo booths that go round and round and you have content. You can come with your significant others, come and have a good time. And then, afterwards you can dance. So guys, you're welcome. I want to tell Wangari to come. You should come and join us and have a good time.
What page are we supposed to look at on social media?
For our business group, it's called Attic Chapter, ATTIC_chapter. And so there you can find details on the events. You can see what you do. We have a lot of content there, courtesy of our wonderful social media team. You can be able to see where we meet. And so it will be at Swiss Mount Lenana this Friday from 6:30 p.m.
I am curious, what would it take for Wangari, to be a part of the Attic chapter?
I think just being human, just being young, and also just having that desire to be an entrepreneur and to build others. That's very important. We have young professionals who are working, who join us for meetings. The goal is just for us to educate each other, grow each other, and exchange business. And so when you come there, you have 50 ambassadors for your business. For example, you're selling shoes. You have 50 people looking for business for your shoes. And so the goal is just to build each other. And so you're always welcome to come. Apart from the dinner, our meetings are usually free. And then once you've come for a number of meetings, you cannot become a certified member of the Chambers of Commerce. And when you have a certification, it means that you can export from Kenya. It means that you have access to a larger pool that is in Kenya and also in 212 countries across the world, which are the Chambers of Commerce. And so you can attend high-level meetings. We invited for so many delegations. I was lucky to be invited for the National Financial Inclusion Dialogue. And I went there and I was the only young person in a group of the biggest financial companies, fintech companies. We had Safaricom there, we had KCB, we had Bill Gates Foundation. And you're like, through this community, through this being part of Chambers of Commerce, I can access such opportunities that are not privileged to everyone.
Interesting. So there is no fee that I'm supposed to pay or that any other individual is supposed to pay in order to join the Attic chapter?
To join the Attic chapter, you have no fee you need to do for meetings. To be a member of KMCCI, there is a cost of 3,500 Kenyan shillings per year. That is for you to be certified, be a certified member. So you can come to Attic and join us, and then after a number of sessions, you can now do the 3,500, and that is a yearly fee. That is, if you do the month, it's like 170 per month. So it's very, very low figure.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Clarence. We're really, really grateful. And thank you for the knowledge that you've shared with us, yes?
Yes.
We're looking forward. I'd love to attend the dinner that will be there this coming Friday. Thank you so much for joining us and equally for sharing with us the amount of knowledge that you've shared with us. Personally, I've learned a lot in regards to buying shares and government bonds. I've always wanted to understand the concept around it, so we are really, really grateful. I really do hope that everyone else has gotten to learn something. Maybe a parting shot, something you can say to the audience right before we wind up, and also please do share with us your social media platforms.
For me, is to invite you once more to the dinner and to join our community. It's going to be phenomenal. The growth there is tremendous. My call to action to young people is, guys, put God first, follow your dreams, push. I have a friend and he said the theme for the year is 2 F's, and that is fucking fight, meaning that we need just to keep fighting. If you lose, it's okay, but you still fought. So let's fight for our future. Let's be the best you can be. To connect further, just check out Instagram, Clarence _Muhoro, for YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Clarence Muhoro. If you want to check out Young Investors Africa, check out _investors_space, and also F1_space, because you have a Formula 1 business. And you can connect to know each other better. But it's been an honor to speak to you, Wangari. You're a very amazing journalist. You share the same name. Wow. And so I wish you the best. Thanks so much, KUTV. It's been a pleasure. And see you guys at the dinner.
Thank you so much, Clarence. Really, really appreciate. Looking forward to seeing you this Friday for the dinner.